I am going to do a personal reading on me. I get asked a lot, should I do readings on myself? And absolutely you should. But there are a few rules that are important to understand. Okay, so one of the rules is you have to see the negative and the positive. You can't just focus on one or the other. Your brain needs to understand the negative and the positive in order to proclaim the reflection, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pull a card on myself. I have my own personal oracle deck, which, by the way, comes with your journey. If you sign up, I create a deck for you, personalized deck with words, phrases, and of course your birth aspects. Okay, so the first card is refer to your spirit animal. So I'm thinking about the spirit animal that just immediately popped in my head and is a conversation that I just had. Somebody said, or I said, soar like an eagle. And so obviously I am an eagle energy, hyper focused, God's eye view of the world. And I am in the negative polar, I am just not sure. And so I want to think about what animal or what totem animal would work best for me right now, right here in this moment. And the reason why I say to really focus on what first comes to mind, because that's the one. Doesn't have to be your favorite, doesn't have to be, but then I go and I do some research on this specific animal and their gifts and the energy that they influence and how they eat, all that stuff. So that immediately gives me what I need to self-nurture in that moment, because the messages are always going to be, they're going to hit. They're like hook. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and pull another one, vibrational frequency, right? And so now it's saying vibrational frequency. Well, I just so happen to have a deck that tells me vibrational frequency. So that's why that's in my deck. So however you figure out what your vibrational frequency is, which, by the way, this reading isn't just for me, it's for you. So I'm reading me and you at the same time. You can't have one without the other. And so we're always, we're continuously reflecting or mirroring each other. Heart chakra. And of course, that's something I've written all over my room in the last week, is pulling in that compassion and really sitting with what compassion really means. I know that we can look it up in the dictionary and maybe talk about how we feel about it, but really compassion is about opening up that, ripping your heart open and really sitting with that and contemplating what compassion is. And my reflection of compassion is authority, self-advocating, self-proclamation, detachment, all kinds of stuff came to me when I started really understanding compassion. And I always ask for compassion for every new journey. And I just recently started a new journey, and so I really wanted that compassion to come in so that I could understand what I was learning through more compassionate way, in a more compassionate way. Okay, so we've got the heart chakra here, spirit animal. So we've got some already, I'm just seeing some really authentic energies here and feeling really good. I feel like I'm in my full power right now. So this is all making sense for me. But I'm going to go ahead and pull another card. So I pulled Libra symbolism, relationship balance, harmony, grace, and justice. And so for me, it's all about the twin flame journey. And I'm consistently walking those sacred fires with every single thing I do. It just gets easier and easier and easier and easier and easier. But now you're participating in the alchemization of what you are actually trying to pull in. So here I've got Libra symbolism. Wow. So right now I'm harmonizing my relationship with me. authentically, which is why Spirit would ask me to refer to a spirit animal, because that takes away all of the humanness and puts me into spirit. So right now I'm being divinely guided by spirit, and things are starting to harmonize in doing that. Everything always balances itself out every single time. So remember that. Okay, and then pulling in balance. You see how, right? And so I am able to objectively and consciously, with my awareness, look at both sides. So if I were doing a reading for somebody or doing a reading for me, I'm looking at the resonance in my reading. So I always, that's what I teach. I teach power, like self-proclamation, self-advocacy, creating a connection between you and source without the middleman. The cards can play the role of the middleman, but when you create a very intimate bond with the cards, the next card we're going to pull is an archetype card. I always like to know what archetype I am currently vibrating at for today. And I've got Star Ancestor, follow the voice of your soul.